All right, so today we're going to dive deep into something. We literally can't live
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
water, salt, minerals. They always say oxygen. It's like super crucial, but
Right.
you can survive for weeks without food, but only a few days max without water.
It's true.
It really kind of puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
So we often, I think, overlook these basic elements,
yeah.
but they play such a vital role in how we feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Understanding how they work together and really the roles they play is just key to feeling our best. It's not just, drinking enough water,
Right.
but it's also the quality of the water
Right.
and this whole symphony of minerals that are kind of working behind the scenes that we don't even think about.
Okay, so let's start with water, the ultimate MVP.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Essential for, well, everything. But I've heard that dehydration can be kind of sneaky, like causing issues we might not even connect to water.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
Yeah. There was this one fascinating researcher, Dr. Batmanglalich. I think most people call him Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. B.
He found that when we're dehydrated, our body goes into what he called drought management.
Drought management.
Yeah. Your body basically starts rationing water.
Oh, wow.
And that can impact, everything from your cells to your organs.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So he even wrote a book about it, right? I think it's called
He did, yeah.
Your Body's Many Cries for Water or something like that.
That's it. Your body's many cries for water.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just, feeling thirsty. Think about, headaches. Dehydration can actually reduce blood volume, which means less oxygen is getting to your brain.
Oh, wow.
And that's why you get the headache. And even, fatigue, brain fog, you can link that back to not enough H2O.
So it's not just about, chugging water all day long. It's about understanding how our bodies use it.
Right.
And what happens when we don't have enough.
Exactly. And that actually brings us to another often misunderstood element, sodium.
Okay.
You might be surprised to learn that it's actually the third most vital element for life.
Right. Seriously.
After oxygen and water, yeah.
Huh. I always thought salt was kind of the bad guy,
Yeah.
like low sodium everything these days.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion around sodium.
Right.
It's not good or bad.
Right.
Sodium is actually crucial for things like, absorbing glucose in water.
Okay.
Without it, our cells can't function properly.
So what's the deal with, processed table salt then?
So the problem is processed table salt.
Okay.
Yeah. Imagine a multivitamin
Right.
that's stripped down to just one vitamin.
Right.
That's kind of what happens with processed salt.
Okay.
It's stripped of its natural minerals, and it often contains, additives.
Ah.
It provides the sodium, but it's
Right.
not the whole picture.
So it's like comparing an apple to, apple-flavored candy,
No.
Not quite the same nutritional value.
Right.
So, but you mentioned, other types of salt.
Yeah.
What are those?
Right. There are natural mineral-rich salts like Celtic sea salt and Himalayan salt.
Okay.
These are harvested differently,
Oh.
and they contain a wider spectrum of minerals that our bodies need.
Okay, so less processed, more natural.
That's it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But what kind of benefits are we talking here?
Well, take Celtic sea salt.
Okay.
It's hand-harvested and contains over 80 minerals.
Oh.
Including a good dose of magnesium.
Okay.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Magnesium actually plays a vital role in hydration.
Hold on, I thought magnesium was for muscle cramps and
Yeah.
relaxing and things like that.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with water?
Think of magnesium as like a water magnet
Okay.
at the cellular level.
Okay.
It actually attracts and pulls water into your cells,
Oh, wow.
promoting hydration from the inside out.
So instead of just flooding our system with water,
Yeah.
it's about these salts that help our bodies actually use it more effectively.
Exactly. And there's even this simple trick.
Okay.
Putting a tiny crystal of Celtic salt on your tongue
Yeah.
before you drink water can actually help your body absorb it better.
Wow. Little things like that can make such a difference.
I know.
It's amazing how much we're learning about these subtle ways these elements work together.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really highlights how everything's connected in our bodies
Yeah.
and how even small things like what kind of salt we use
Right.
can have these ripple effects.
Yeah, it's like a chain reaction.
It is.
Speaking of interconnectedness,
Yeah.
we talked about how dehydration can lead to problems
Yeah.
beyond just feeling thirsty. So
Right.
let's break down some of those consequences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One area that's significantly impacted by dehydration is our digestion.
Okay.
Think about it this way. Digestion requires this delicate balance of fluids and enzymes,
Right.
those specialized catalysts that break down our food.
Right.
So without enough water,
Yeah,
those enzymes can't do their jobs properly.
that makes sense.
Yeah, when you're dehydrated, your body really struggles to produce enough digestive enzymes,
Oh, wow.
particularly those from the pancreas.
Okay.
And this can lead to incomplete digestion,
Right.
which often shows up as, bloating, indigestion, even constipation.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
If your body's rationing water, it makes sense that it would
right.
pull back on things
Yep.
like enzyme production.
Exactly.
Yeah. But are there other less obvious consequences of dehydration?
There are. We were talking about how sodium plays a role in water absorption.
Right.
Well, another mineral that's essential for fluid balance is potassium.
Potassium, like bananas.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Potassium is an electrolyte that
Mhm.
helps regulate the fluid balance in our cells.
Okay.
So when we're dehydrated and our sodium levels are all out of whack,
Right.
potassium can help bring things back into equilibrium.
So it's not just about chugging water, but also making sure we're getting
It's about balance.
the right minerals
Yeah,
to help our bodies use that water
exactly.
effectively.
And while we're talking about minerals,
Okay.
let's not forget about calcium.
Right.
We all know it's important for strong bones.
Yes.
But did you know that dehydration can actually hinder calcium absorption?
Really? I thought calcium was all about dairy and like
It is, yeah.
supplements and stuff.
You need those things, yeah.
What does water have to do with it?
Well, calcium absorption relies heavily on vitamin D.
Okay.
If you're deficient in vitamin D,
Right.
your body won't be able to effectively absorb calcium,
Huh.
even if you are getting enough of it from your diet.
So it's a team effort.
It is.
Even if you're doing all the right things,
Right.
taking your calcium, eating your leafy greens,
Yeah.
dehydration can throw a wrench in the whole process.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
Wow.
And speaking of calcium in bones, dehydration can also affect our joints. You know that synovial fluid that helps our joints move smoothly?
Right. The stuff that keeps our knees from creaking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, synovial fluid is mostly water.
Okay.
So when you're dehydrated, your body might divert water away from your joints
Oh, wow.
to maintain those essential functions.
It's for more important things.
Yeah, and this can lead to less lubrication, more friction,
Right.
which can result in joint pain and stiffness.
So even if we're not feeling parched, like our bodies might be sending us subtle signals
Yes.
that we need more water.
Exactly.
And it's not just our physical health that's affected.
Right.
I've heard that dehydration can even impact like our mental sharpness and our mood.
Yeah.
It absolutely will.
Really?
Remember, our brains are mostly water.
Right.
When we're dehydrated, our brain cells actually shrink.
Oh, wow.
And that can lead to difficulty concentrating, memory lapses, even mood swings.
Wow. So brain fog isn't just a made-up thing.
No.
It's like our brains are literally drying up.
Yeah, in a way,
Yeah.
even mild dehydration can affect cognitive function.
Wow.
Making us feel sluggish, irritable.
So if I'm struggling to focus or feeling extra grumpy,
Right.
maybe I should reach for a glass of water before I reach for the coffee.
Exactly. Yeah, good idea.
But it sounds like dehydration doesn't just affect our brains, it also affects our physical performance too.
Absolutely.
Right.
When you're dehydrated, your muscles aren't getting the oxygen and nutrients they need to function at their peak.
Right.
This can lead to fatigue, muscle cramps, decreased athletic performance.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
If your blood is thicker, your muscles are parched.
right.
It's going to be harder to push yourself physically.
Exactly.
And it's not just about like intense workouts or anything, it's even everyday activities can feel harder.
Yeah, for sure.
So dehydration is kind of a silent saboteur,
It is.
affecting us in so many ways we don't even realize.
Absolutely.
So what can we do about it?
Yeah.
Is it just about drinking more water or...
Or are there other things to consider? Yeah, it really seems like dehydration is something we need to be way more aware of,
Yeah,
especially with all these hidden consequences.
you're sure?
So how do we stay ahead of it? Is it just about chugging water or...
Well, drinking enough water is definitely crucial,
Right.
but it's not the whole story.
Okay.
We also need to think about the quality of our fluids.
Okay, so we talked about the mineral-rich salts
Right.
and how those can help our body use the water more effectively.
Exactly.
Is there anything else we can do to support hydration?
Absolutely. One thing to consider is the type of water you're drinking.
Okay.
Tap water can vary widely in its quality and
Right.
mineral content.
Right.
Some people find that, like, Filtered water or spring water
Right.
helps them feel more hydrated.
Interesting.
Mhm.
What about those like electrolyte drinks?
Yeah.
Are those actually helpful, or are they just kind of a marketing thing?
Electrolyte drinks can be helpful, especially if you're, sweating a lot or engaging in intense physical activity.
Right.
They help replenish those essential minerals,
Okay.
like sodium, potassium, magnesium,
Okay.
that we lose through sweat.
So they're not just for athletes then?
Not necessarily. If you're feeling particularly drained or notice you're sweating more than usual,
Right.
an electrolyte drink could be helpful,
Okay.
but it's important to choose wisely.
Yeah.
Many of the commercial electrolyte drinks are loaded with sugar
Right. Right.
and artificial ingredients.
So reading the label is key,
Always. Yeah.
as always.
hmm
What about getting electrolytes from food, though?
Yeah,
Are there certain things we should be eating to help with hydration?
absolutely. Fruits and vegetables are naturally rich in electrolytes.
Okay.
Bananas, as we mentioned, are a good source of potassium.
Right.
Watermelon, coconut water,
Okay.
leafy greens are also great options.
So a balanced diet plays a role in hydration, too.
It does.
It's all connected.
It is, yeah.
But how do we know if we're actually drinking enough water? Is there like a magic number?
The classic advice is 8 glasses a day.
Right.
But it really depends on your individual factors,
Right.
like your activity level, the climate,
Sure.
your overall health.
So just listen to your body.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb is to just, listen to your body.
Okay.
Drink when you're thirsty.
Are there any other signs we can look for, maybe even before we feel thirsty?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
The color of your urine is actually a really good indicator.
Okay.
If it's pale yellow, you're likely well hydrated.
Okay.
If it's darker, you might need to up your fluid intake.
Good to know. So it's about being mindful
Yeah,
of those little signals that our bodies are sending us.
exactly.
And it sounds like there's no one-size-fits-all approach to hydration.
Definitely not. It's about finding what works for you
Yeah.
and being proactive
Right.
about replenishing your body's fluids.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It
I feel like I've learned so much about water, salt, minerals, all that stuff.
Food.
Is there anything else you'd like to leave our listeners with? Maybe a final thought to chew on.
I think the biggest takeaway is that hydration is not just about quenching your thirst.
Right.
It's about nourishing your body at a cellular level.
Yeah.
By understanding the roles these elements play and
Yeah.
how they interact, we can make informed choices to
Right.
support our overall health.
I love that. It's
Mm.
about seeing hydration as an essential part of self-care,
Absolutely.
not just something we do when we're really parched.
Right.
So to our listeners out there,
Yeah.
we encourage you to pay attention to your hydration needs.
Yeah. Experiment.
Experiment with different strategies.
Yeah. Find what works for you.
And remember, even small changes can make a big difference over time.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of hydration and minerals.
My pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious, stay hydrated, and keep exploring.